नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की जय श्री श्री निताई गौरंग की जय Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So let's take a recap of the 5th chapter, what we were understanding in the last few sessions. As I told you, 5th chapter is a very important chapter of Bhagavad Gita, titled Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. So if you have a copy of Bhagavad Gita with you, it will be very nice to refer. As I'm talking, I'll tell you to refer some things. If you have this copy, it is very nice. It will help you to relate with what I'm talking. Okay. So this chapter is beginning with Arjuna's question. And in this chapter specifically, when a person is come to a certain stage of development in devotional service, he is acting with a proper understanding, proper knowledge. He having a background knowledge. Just like we have many professionals attending sessions here. If you are all of you are working professionals, so with your field, with your particular domain, when any subject matter comes, with your understanding, background understanding of that particular situation or subject, you're able to relate with that. So likewise, in Krishna consciousness, we are supposed to also relate with the facts of life. Because whatever situation we are in, all of us are going through different types of circumstances, different types of backgrounds because of our own previous karmas, right? So whatever it is all for, it is all happening because of our own doing. This is what Krishna is going to reveal in this chapter. Many times we try to blame God. Oh, something bad is happening, God is not happy with me. Or anything good is happening, I am responsible. Bad is happening, God is responsible. So like this, you start blaming God and all these things. So we have to get to know the facts of life and how we have to move forward in our spiritual journey. So this whole chapter is actually giving us an understanding of having the right perspective, the perspective as per Vedic scriptures, which Krishna is giving us with regard to seeing the reality of life. Okay, one is the previous chapter was called Transcendental Knowledge, and this chapter is actually action in Krishna consciousness, which means practically you can experience what is the fact of life, right? So Arjuna's question is something very much most of us will have. Arjuna is asking because a lot of knowledge Krishna has given in the previous chapters with regard to giving up the activities and becoming advanced in spiritual life and so many things like that. And also he's simultaneously telling him, you have to work with devotion. Right? So Arjuna's specific question was, should I give up everything or should I work with devotion? Or it's like telling, so if you want to take up spirituality, should I give up everything? Or what is the type of consciousness I should work with? Because Krishna was recommending you to work with devotion to me. So what is that work with devotion is what Krishna is going to explain in this chapter specifically. Because mostly the understanding people have with regard to spirituality means peaceful, no activity, go to some forest, right? Shanti, Shanti. So this is Shanti, Shanti is not spiritual life. Okay. Shanti is a byproduct of spiritual life, which is a Prabhupada explains in second chapter if you see. Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful situation, he says, in one of the purports, which we have noticed, right? So, this is only possible when you have relation with Krishna. So basically, Arjuna's question was to make us understand the spirituality in the modern way of understanding means we have to, don't do this, don't do that. We should totally, give up all activities, family connections. Then you are spiritually fit. Or you go on with what all you're doing and work in a specific fashion. That is spirituality. How it is, what it is the question. So Krishna explains, yes, there is a Vedic way of understanding spirituality as giving up everything. It is a process wherein gradually a person will renounce everything in sannyasa. Sannyasa means wherein a person gradually from brahmacharya to grahastha to vanaprastha, then sannyasa. Student life, householder life, retired life, then comes the renounced life or sannyasa life. That is also a gradual process. But what Krishna is seeing practically is, with regard to our present situation, is that is not very much possible for everybody, because everybody is not trained in any of these various stages of Vedic life, right? So Krishna is recommending, or rather he is preferring, that there is a specific way of spirituality which all of us can practice, that is called work in devotion or action in Krishna consciousness. And why it is better is because a person, he may make a show of spirituality, but he may have all attachments in his heart. He may have all inclinations, all type of so many desires filled in his consciousness. That is not actually spirituality, right? This Krishna has been stressing in the various teachings in the previous chapters. So spirituality actually means understanding that this world, around whatever world I'm living in, the owner or the proprietor is Lord Krishna, and everything belongs to Krishna, and everything should be used for his service. You may do any activity, but the spirit of action should be offering the results to Krishna. The final outcome of the work enjoyer is Krishna. Just like Krishna gave the example of when you eat, eating should not be done independently without acknowledging Krishna. Rather, we should offer the food to Krishna and have as prasadam. So when you act like this, Krishna says, you are a sannyasi every moment, which means you're a spiritualist every moment. Neya sa nitya sannyasi, Krishna says. So such an action is going to relieve you from all attachments or all bondages. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate, Krishna says. Otherwise, just externally showing off that you are following spirituality, but internally, heart of heart, you are having so many material desires and material, all contaminations of lust, anger, greed is there, no point. So, like this, Krishna explains that yes, in the Vedic literatures, there is a recommendation of a step-by-step process of practicing spirituality. And there is a practical way of practicing spirituality in Kali Yuga that is called Krishna consciousness or work in devotion, which Prabhupada has given us in a very, very wonderful way, in a simplistic way, which now in this chapter it will be explained in a detailed manner. So, like this, Krishna explained that working in devotion, in whatever situation we are in, this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also told us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna's incarnation in this Kali Yuga. He said, Sthane sitha shutigatam tanuvan manobhi. It's not that you have to give up your profession, you have to give up your family, you have to give up your all other regular routine works and take up sannyas. No. Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, wherever you are, you can be there. Sthane sita. But what you should do? Shrutikatam tanuvan manobhi. You have to understand the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and try to follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita as per the directions given by Prabhupada, Acharyas. Right? That is what you're supposed to be doing. Right? So Prabhupada never said you have to change your dress, you have to live like this life. No. He told you can stay whatever way it is, you have to just change your perception. Change your way of seeing things. Have the right understanding. Right now, our understanding is actually ignorant understanding. Right? We should have the right understanding. That is Krishna conscious understanding or spiritual vision. As Prabhupada explains later on, we're having Jada Darshana. Jada Darshana means material vision. We should have Adhyatma Darshana. That is spiritual vision. Then you can see things in the right perspective. Just like a person is having cataract, he cannot see clearly. But when the cataract is operated, then he can have clear vision. Likewise, Krishna conscious understanding is going to give us the right perspective of seeing things in the right way. So Krishna was telling, when you have come to this divine consciousness or spiritual consciousness, then you understand that actually everything is Krishna's energy, everything belongs to Krishna. I am only an instrument here. And if I desire to act for Krishna, that is the benefit for me. That is the right way of action for me. Right? So in that way, Krishna explains in verse number 10. Let us get into the details of verse number 10. He says that how to work. You have to work in a way that you're not attached to results. You should perform your duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto Krishna. This is the principle which has been explained from the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. Krishna is repeating this again here. Right? So, one who performs his duty without attachment to results, because we are all attached to results. We want to enjoy the results of our work. It's called phala apekshita karma. Right? So Krishna is telling that this type of being attached to results of your work is entanglement. So that is not the aspect of spirituality or spiritual consciousness. Spiritual consciousness means you work on the spiritual platform, understanding your spirit soul, and the results is meant for Krishna's enjoyment. It's a very basic principle. Why it is for Krishna's enjoyment? Because I'm not the proprietor. I'm not the owner. I'm only a part and parcel. It's a very important understanding. This is what our situation is. Our constitutional situation is that we are part and parcel of Krishna. A part can only execute its work as a part, not take the position of a whole. Complete. Just like the servant has to work as a servant. If he imitates the master, then he is in a very dangerous position. That is what is going on in the material world now. We are trying to imitate the master. Or we, as Prabhupada says, we have this lauding tendency. We want to be the master of all I survey. We want to be the lord of, I think I have everything in control. I can do this, I can do that. Right? But we don't know, rather we are not conscious that anytime anything can happen. Just for time being you are given, just like Prabhupada gives example. Sometimes the owner is taking the dog for a walk. He lets loose, or either he leaves that belt sometimes freely, and dog is running here and there. Now, whenever the master wants, he can again, take the control of that belt. It's like that. So Krishna, for time being, he may have given you some sort of a freedom for you to think, oh, I am free, whatever I can do, I can do. But any moment, Krishna can take that control back. And in fact, living a life of complete dependence and surrender to Krishna is what Krishna is telling is good for you. Otherwise, again, you'll get entangled. In human life, we go on, doing activities which is not permitted as per the regulations of scriptures. Then again, we'll fall down, rather we'll glide down to lower species of life. So here, Krishna is very nicely giving a wonderful example in verse number 10. He says, just like the lotus leaf, you've seen the lotus flower, lotus leaf, the lotus stem. If you put some water on this lotus leaf, that water doesn't stick on the lotus leaf, right? That's how Lord has created this wonderful lotus leaf. So it'll never be moist. Just similarly, Krishna is giving example that we are also in this material world. But if you maintain this consciousness, what consciousness? Krishna consciousness. What is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness means you're acting under the direction of Krishna. Then nothing will affect me. Krishna is using the word lipyate nasa papena. Very nice word. Just like the lotus leaf, even though it is in the midst of water, so much of water, and sometimes there are waves of water on that, but not a drop of water will stick on it, right? It is in the midst of a huge mass of water, waves running over it. So many things are happening. Water is always moving. But even then, the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Likewise, we may be in the material world with a lot of ups and downs, a lot of upheavals. But if you have Krishna consciousness, that is what I began telling, the right perception, the proper perception, then what happens? When you act as per the direction of Krishna, then you have nothing to do with this material world. It's like people always complain, oh, this problem, that problem, this is troublesome, this problem is war is going on, this problem will happen. So this is all for persons who are not in the proper perspective. They are not in Krishna consciousness. Whereas one who is Krishna consciousness, scriptures say, he is experiencing happiness any situation. Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate, which means he sees everything is Krishna sanctioned and I am doing my duty and everything is going on as per his directions, right? So this is how you can be above the contamination of this material world. Lipyate nasa papena. So Prabhupada very nicely explains, this is the antiseptic measure. We know that recently we had a couple of years back, the COVID epidemic everywhere. So one who has taken the vaccine, it acts as an antiseptic. For the antiseptic vaccine acts as measure to so that you're not infected by the disease. Likewise, when you are Krishna conscious or you are acting as per the direction of Krishna, understanding the Bhagavad Gita's teachings, this acts as an antiseptic method to free you from the contamination of this material world. That's what Krishna is telling. Lipyate nasa papena. He is not affected by the contraction or contamination of this material world. So, this chapter began with a question of Arjuna asking about what is spirituality, whether it is giving up everything, renouncing family, work, business, etc., and then just go to forest, or being in the material world and working as per your direction. What is right one? What is the meaning of spirituality? What is devotion? Is what the question was. So Krishna said, yes, there is a traditional way, step-by-step process of coming to the level of spirituality or the proper consciousness. A step-by-step process is the Vedic process, which is not practical for this age. The practical aspect of this age is to work in devotion. And work in devotion comes with a proper understanding. At least whatever Krishna has given in Bhagavad Gita. And when you act in this way, work in devotion. Now, work in devotion means you are acting without attachment to results, giving the results to Krishna. And this is going to keep you free from sinful contamination. Otherwise, you're getting entangled. So this is what happens when you're attached to results of the work, you become entangled. Oh, I want to enjoy the result. So you become entangled. Good result, good reaction will come. Bad result, just like when you have sinful desires, you want to indulge in sinful activity, then you will end up in sinful reactions, papa reactions. If you have, okay, I want to do some punya karya, that desire you have, desire for punya karya, then as per the Vedic rules, you're going to enjoy, you'll be elevated to higher planets. So Krishna consciousness is neither papa or punya, it is transcendental, it is beyond that. Because and either papa or punya is entangling. We have to transcend both papa punya, because papa punya is again going to continue your existence in the material world. Right? So very nice story Prabhupada says in this connection of a wet stool and dry stool. Right? So there was a discussion going on with a few villagers. They were telling, see, wet stool is very dirty, it's all giving smell. Whereas dry stool is dried up, so it will not give smell. So Prabhupada says, either wet stool or dry stool, it's stool after all. So whether good or bad in the material world is all bad only, from material point of view. What is really good is when you take up what Krishna wants. Good from your perspective is again bad. Why? Because it's going to entangle you. One more nice story Prabhupada tells. So in a house, two kids are there. Two children are there. One child is suffering from, say, jaundice. One more child is healthy. Some mother has cooked parathas that day. So the healthy child has got the paratha. So this healthy child has become very compassionate for his brother child. Brother, oh, he is suffering, he is taking khichdi. I am taking paratha. So let me give this paratha to him little without my mother's knowledge. What happens? Mother already has given diet to this suffering, this diseased child, so that his disease is cured faster. But his healthy child thinks, now let me give paratha, then the disease will be aggravating to this jaundiced child. So likewise, the good what you think from your perspective, from the spiritual perspective, it is actually bad. So what is actually good is what Krishna wants us to do. That's what Krishna is telling us here. So the perspective of the action, what is the right action, we should take from Krishna's understanding. So with this understanding, if you start acting, next verse number 11, Krishna says, Kayena manasa buddhya kevalair indriyair api yogina kurma karvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. Very nicely Krishna is telling that the whole process of acting like this in Krishna consciousness is for purification. Why purification required? Because right now our consciousness is contaminated or polluted. Polluted with regard to our actual existence of being servant to Krishna. Is this consciousness is contaminated to think that I am part of this material world. I belong to this family. I belong to this community. I belong to this. I am that so and so. This I have made so many other type of consciousness contaminations, designations. Right? This type of consciousness is called polluted consciousness. My real identity is I am servant of Krishna. I am nice devotee of Krishna. This identity is not right now prominent in our consciousness. So many type of other designations are running in my consciousness. That is called as contamination. And this contamination is further aggravated by other qualities of lust, anger, greed, illusion, and it is making us get into one more different type of a domain of understanding. That is the contamination. So the whole process of acting like this, in what way acting? acting to offer the results to Krishna, acting without any attachment to results for oneself, which means acting as per the direction of Krishna. Then what happens? Then you have to act with your body, mind, and intelligence. Right? You're acting only for the Supreme Lord in connection with Supreme. The yoga means connected, the action connected to Krishna. Right? So you're acting with your body, kayena, by the body, manasa, by the mind, buddhya means by intelligence, kevalair inderapi, right? And with your senses, kaya, manasa, buddhya, indriya. Right? Body, mind, intelligence, and senses, all of them you're engaging for what? Yoginaha karma kurvanti. Yoginaha means the person who is acting as per direction of Krishna, he is working for what? Only for Krishna's satisfaction. Right? Activities looks like ordinary activity only. Just like you may go to market to purchase some vegetables for cooking. But you are going to market for purchasing vegetables is for Krishna. Whereas any other person is going to market, is purchasing to purchase vegetables for cooking for himself. That is the difference. See the difference? This is what Krishna is trying to explain us here. That when you act like this, Krishna is telling, Yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatva, means he is not attached to the results. Again, Krishna is repeating. I told you also in the previous sessions, Krishna is repeatedly using this word, sangam tyaktva, right? Sangam tyaktva, if you see verse number 10, verse number 11, verse number 12, repeatedly Krishna is using this word. Sangam tyaktva means he is giving up the attachment to the results of the work. A very nice example Prabhupada gives us here. You have seen, and all of us have gone to bank and we have bank accounts. In the bank, the cashier is sitting in the cash counter, he's counting every day lakhs of rupees, right? Every day lakhs of rupees come to him and he also disposes lakhs of rupees based on some procedures. But even though he's doing so many transactions, lakhs of rupees, he has no connection with it, right? He's not telling, oh, I become a millionaire, right? Every day I'm taking so much money in hand. No, he's doing his duty, right? He has no attachment. This is the way we're supposed to act in our day-to-day transactions, that we are acting for Krishna. Just like the cashier understands, I am different from this money. So one who is in Krishna consciousness, he also acts in this way. Yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. Right? So just like all of us are performing different devotional activities. We are right now sitting and discussing Krishna consciousness philosophy. Right? This is one type of a action we are doing. We do kirtan, we do puja, we do offerings. So anything what we are doing is all connected to Krishna. Right? So that is, all of them are actually, what it is doing Atma Shuddhaya for us. It is for purifying us. So that is what Prabhupada has wonderfully given us. Right? Whatever we are doing is all connected to Krishna. Right? You go to market to purchase vegetables, other things, whatever, the center is Krishna's satisfaction. So like this, Prabhupada has given opportunity for us to purify us in every action. Day after day, you become purer and purer and purer. So this is the Krishna conscious concept of life, which Krishna is recommending for us. See, so nice. It's very practical. Otherwise, the regular traditional way of becoming purified means not easy. We'll see in the next chapter how difficult it is. Not practical for anybody in the material world right now. It's so practical. You are sitting here. You are sitting in different parts of the world, and you're all hearing. But just hearing this katha, Bhagavad Gita discussion, you're getting purified. Right? You cook for Krishna, offer it to Krishna, have prasadam, you are purified. You read Bhagavad Gita, you're getting purified. So any action you do with your mind, body, intelligence, senses, is all purifying you. If the action is for Krishna's satisfaction. That is what Krishna says in verse number 11. Let's go to the verse number 12. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. So now Krishna is further continuing that understanding. First he said, you have to act in Krishna consciousness. That is, work in devotion. Work in devotion is like going to free you from all contamination. It's like the lotus leaf untouched by water. Very important example. Very wonderful example. Lipyate nasa papena padma patra vivambasa. And one more advantage of doing this is what? It is going to purify you every time you are acting like this for Krishna's satisfaction. And Krishna is giving one more perspective of this action. He's telling, person who is acting in this way, he is always peaceful. He is not agitated in his mind. Krishna Prabhupada says he attains unadulterated peace. Very, shanti. Which means, I was telling you, peace, shanti is not that we have to look for it. It comes as a byproduct while you're working for Krishna or acting for Krishna. Because he's offering all the results to Krishna. So one who is acting in this way, in Krishna consciousness, he doesn't think that the work what I'm doing, result I will enjoy. This type of understanding will never come to this person. Because he knows this cooking, this food, what I'm cooking is for Krishna. Right? Yukta karma phalam tyaktva. That satisfaction. Otherwise, if you cook for yourself, what did Krishna say in 3rd chapter? If you cook for yourself and eat the food without offering to Krishna, you're eating only sin. And more sin you eat, more entangled you become. Your consciousness becomes contaminated. So, that is the whole beauty of Krishna consciousness, that the devotee is very confident that I am engaged in Krishna's duty. I am always protected by Krishna. And this you can practically see with your own state of your mind. Because the result you don't want to enjoy the results for yourself. You want to see that Krishna is very happy. Krishna is enjoying the results. All of you would have experienced this. Just like whenever I visit Sanyalji's house, he always says, Sanyalji and Subarnaji are always busy in taking care of their Gopalji offerings and taking care of Gopal. So it's so nice consciousness. That's the type of consciousness we're supposed to have. So this is going to give us so much of satisfaction. Otherwise, ordinarily, we see people are busy. Me, my family, busy in that so much. Peace is agitation because everybody doesn't like one person like this, one person doesn't like this food. So much of disturbance in a family also. Whereas in a family which is following the principles as per Bhagavad Gita, very peaceful. And Krishna is giving the other effect. If you are not doing this, ayuktaha kama karyena, one who is not connected in Krishna consciousness, he is only doing work for kama karyena, which means he's having his own desires to be fulfilled. Yes, he's very greedy for his fruits of his labor, Prabhupada says. Means I work and I enjoy the results. Ayukta kama karyena phale sakto nibadhyate. Krishna says, if he's like this, full of lust, greed, and he is attached to results of his work, he becomes entangled in the material world. That's what everybody's life is in the outside world. Right? So that entanglement is so, so dangerous that constantly is feeling that, having the feeling of fear, sort of a, dissatisfaction, and what will happen next, this sort of a, very, very unstable situation, right? So this entanglement is like that. Constantly you're in, just like we sing every day morning in the Mangala Arati, Samsara Dava Nalalidha Loka, Tranaya Karunya Ghana Ghanatvam. Right? So we sing morning, we remind ourselves that this world is like forest fire, where there is constantly the fire is burning everywhere. It means our anxiety is so much that every time this, that. Why? Because people are not offering their work, results of their work to Krishna. Ayukta kama karyena phale sakto nibbadhyate. They are getting entangled. That is the whole situation in the material world. So the right type of consciousness, what we should have, what type of background consciousness we should have, is what Krishna is explaining in these verses, right? So the basic question of Arjuna was, what is spiritual consciousness? Spirituality, is it renouncing everything or working for Krishna? What is it? Krishna says working for Krishna is working for me is better, because that is going to, it's a very practical for this age. And work for me is very easy. A lot of wonderful activities Prabhupada has given us, right? You can work with your body, mind, senses, intelligence, engaged in Krishna's service. Just like you have a deity of Krishna in your place, you want to dress him, you want to do abhisheka for him, you want to decorate him, you have to use your senses, you have to use your mind, you have to use your creativity, right? Any festival is there, you have to use your whole bodily actions for that way. So all this is purifying us, and if you do like this, actually it is going to give you so much of satisfaction, peace of mind, satisfaction is all is a byproduct in this action. Now Krishna is further explaining how all this is going on, the whole phenomena of this action with regard to you want to act. Are you acting, or something else is orchestrated behind your desire to act, and who is actually acting? And many such wonderful philosophical points Krishna is going to explain in the next 3 verses. Okay, so the verse number 13, Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvan na karayan. So now Krishna is telling Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste means all the activities, whatever he has to do, a devotee has to do, it is all decided by his mind, right? Determination comes in his mind. So his determination is such that that I want to act for Krishna, right? I only want to act for Krishna's satisfaction. So which means Prabhupada very nicely uses one word here. He is having a controlled life. Controlled life means my actions with regard to my mind, my senses, my intelligence, everything will be for Krishna. Which means because he is having this controlled life, Prabhupada says, in which his deliberations are changed. Right? Ordinarily, materialistically, if you see, a person's way of action is what? Oh, it's going to give me satisfaction. I can enjoy by seeing this, I can enjoy by tasting this, I can enjoy by hearing this. That's what everybody is running after. Whereas in Krishna consciousness, what happens? You're acting under direction of Krishna, as per direction of Prabhupada. You are acting in a regulated manner, in a controlled manner. Vashi, you have control. What to eat, how to eat, right? What to see, what not to see, what to read, what not to read. You are controlled. So this is what Krishna is telling us. This is going to make you to live happily. Sukham vashi, you can live happily in your body. And this body is compared to a city of 9 gates. Navadvare pure dehi. Right? So, what are the 9 gates? Prabhupada explains. The 9 gates are 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 1 anus, and 1 genital. These are the 9 gates. Just like example is given in your wherever you're sitting now room, there will be some windows and doors, right? That is where you can go out and come in, or rather you can get the ventilation, air ventilation, light ventilation. So these 9 gates in the body are the gates which is communicating with the outside world, and either as you're getting the knowledge, information, like this. So this is what 9 gates are there. So this body is called city of 9 gates. When you are having a controlled life, or a life of in which you're determined to act in Krishna consciousness, that is going to keep you always, even though you're in this body, you are happy, right? So when you are not acting like this, when you identify yourself with this body and act for the body's satisfaction, that's going to entangle you. That's what Krishna is telling us here. So basically, just you have to change your perception, right? Just perception that I am not this body, I am spirit soul, and act on the spiritual platform. Spiritual platform action means acting as per Krishna's direction. That's what Prabhupada is very nicely explaining here. That when you act like this, you need not, you're not going to seek happiness externally, right? Because people are all running behind, I want to see this, I want to eat that, I want to hear this, all running after, and world is filled with this entertainment. Whereas a Krishna conscious devotee, he knows what is the real happiness, right? So the real happiness is with Krishna. So when you know that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, and acting accordingly in this consciousness is going to give you complete happiness. So Prabhupada says, Krishna conscious person is free from both the outer and inner activities of the material body, right? Because he is acting in a pure consciousness. He is not acting in a way that he is misidentifying himself as the body. That's the point. So in this verse specifically, Krishna is telling that the soul within the body, it only has to desire to act in Krishna consciousness. When you misidentify, what happens? Then it will give a different type of action. Right? It's going to you identify yourself as the body, the wrong identification. Right? It's like, I'll give a simple example. Most of us would have acted in drama in our school days or college days. If you are given a role to play, you are a king. Immediately that whole the identity of a king. Oh, king means it's very majestic. You have to speak like this. You have to act like this. Okay, in drama, you act like a king. After drama is over, if you continue to act similarly in your college or in a house, they will hit you. Right? That's what happens. So what is going on in the material world is, we're all playing dramas, differently. Drama continues, life after life. Different roles we are playing. Something I am, and I continue to be like that only. In house also, outside also, everywhere. That is the problem. But you don't understand that our real identity is, I am servant of Krishna. I am devotee of Krishna. This identity is your primary identity. All the other so-called roles are all drama roles. So those roles are drama roles only. It has to be given that much relevance only, value only. But if you go on with the drama roles and may Hindustani, may Pakistani, may Ohu, East, that way go on with that consciousness, you'll be born in Pakistan next life. So then finished. Like this, life is going on. What is the point? Krishna says, if you are wrongly identifying yourself as something else, next life you'll be born that way. Then your whole purpose of human life is spoiled. One life you are spoiled. Example of Bharat Maharaj identified himself with a deer. He was so advanced in devotion, but even then he identified with the deer and he became attached to deer. And he left his body thinking of deer. He became a deer next life. And somehow he realized, oh, what a big mistake I have done. In the deer body, he was sitting in the ashram of some sadhus and hearing katha. Next life he got a human body, Jada Bharata. In that life also he was very careful. And finally, in that body, he got liberation. That is how see so much risk. He has to wait for 3 more births. Now, what about us? So, should we acting in a way, this way? It's what that. If you act on a spiritual platform, soul platform is what is going to save us. If you act on the bodily platform, identifying male, female, I'm that, I'm this, I'm engineer, I'm doctor, I'm businessman. Oh, it is all only role plays. You have to play that role as much, what is required to maintain your body. Not the extent that I am that only. I give the example of drama. You acted as a king, come in the house also act like a king only, then what happens? Right? Finished. It will be too much disturbance for you and everybody. That's the problem. Okay, next verse. So here, this is a very interesting verse. 14th verse. Na kartatvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu na karma phala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. So, now somebody may question, if Krishna is giving sanction for all our actions, then he is responsible for my bad work also. As I told you, good work, of course, I am responsible. Well, sometimes Krishna also responsible. Bad work, of course, he is only responsible. So for this type of a question and this type of understanding people have, this is the answer here, right? So Krishna is telling, na kartatvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu. So here, prabhu basically means, Prabhupada is translating, I am acting like a lord. I'm the master, I'm thinking of this body. So, actually, Lord is telling, Krishna is telling to Arjuna, he does not create work for us. Neither he creates a result for us. Na karma phala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. So, neither Krishna is responsible for a good work I do, nor is he responsible for the bad work I do, nor is he responsible for the results what I enjoy or suffer. That's what this verse is telling. This is all why? Because we have acquired one type of a nature, svabhava, svabhavastu pravartate. We have one type of a characteristic in our existence right now. Because of that nature, I am having a nature of becoming short-tempered. That nature, I am making enemies with everybody. So, you create your own work, you create your own result from the work, and you become entangled. This is all, it is not creation of God. Krishna has nothing to do with this. Everything is, I am responsible. So, if you further ask a question, okay, how do I create? If it is sanctioned by Krishna, if it's controlled by Krishna, then how I create, right? So this answer very nicely, Prabhupada explains. It's like a person who is a criminal, he's taken to court and the hearing happens. The judge is assessing the case, right? So after seeing all the various aspects of his background, analyzing the case, if the judge passes the judgment that he should be condemned to death, he will be given death punishment, or should be imprisoned for life. Life imprisonment is given. So that is judge's direction being given to that particular criminal for the actions he has done. Right? The judge is condemning this person to go to jail or condemning it for his lifetime imprisonment. So if the criminal thinks, oh, judge has put me to this death, judge has condemned me like this, or judge has given me this death punishment, that is wrong. Judge is neither an enemy of this person or judge has any grudges on this person. No. All the reaction of criminality, what I have done, is my creation. I have created my jail life before. The judge, what is he doing is simply giving me his judgment, his direction. Oh, you have done this, so this is the result. You have done this, this is the result. Judge is not responsible for your actions. A very important principle you have to understand. Because whatever I am right now, I am responsible for this. The sense of responsibility. Because I have acquired one type of a nature by associating with this world. And I'm acting that way. Whatever I am now, whatever anybody is because of that person's individual action. And there are laws of karma which Krishna has made. Just like the judge, the judiciary, law, police is all meant to give you justice. Likewise, there is a law of karma which is working very subtly. Very fine laws of karma, very precise. That is going to control all of us, because I want to sit on your head, you want to sit on my head. Who is powerful, right? So laws of karma decides, right? Election, every party says we are going to win definitely this time, you see, with majority. Other party will say the same thing. So who is going to win? Collective karma acts. Right? Collective karma acts. So the point is, you may think, I am better, I can do that, I can do this, I have created myself. It's all because of ahankara. This verse is connected to that verse in 3rd chapter. Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvachaha ahankara vimudhatma karta hamiti manyate. That's what Prabhupada is saying very nicely. That this body, what I'm thinking is mine. I'm thinking I am the master of the body. But actually, I am neither its proprietor nor controller of its actions nor reactions. I am simply in the midst of the material ocean, struggling for existence. Mayar boshe, jachu boshe, kachu habu dabu bhai. This is the Bengali, kirtan by one of our acharyas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Mayar boshe. We are in the control of Maya. It's like the waves. You're in the middle of a river or an ocean. The waves are tossing you up and down, up and down. Our situation is like that. We're in the middle of this material ocean, struggling for existence, and the waves of Maya are tossing us up and down, up and down, up and down. We don't have any control on that. No control of that. That is the situation. So, the situation of putting ourselves in the ocean is not Krishna's work. It is our work only. We only have fallen there. That's the point. So, any action what we do, good or bad, and the consequent reactions, which is guided by Krishna's laws of karma. Krishna is only giving direction. You do this, you'll get this. You do this, you do like this. It's like, Google Map is showing you to go right. No, I'll go left. What happens? Then you have to again, Google will reroute and tell you have to go 10 kilometers more. This action of taking left is yours only, no? Google only is directing. Oh, Google showed me wrongly. No. Google was showing you rightly only. But you took a different direction, no? Then Google rerouted you. It gave a different direction to you. That's what this verse is telling. This verse is very nicely explaining the results, what you're enjoying or suffering, is because of you, ourselves. We are responsible, which means a sense of responsibility of our actions should be on our way, on our identity, and also feeling proud or feeling very arrogant that I am doing everything is again wrong, because there's Lord's nature working. You can only desire, and if you deserve, Lord will sanction. Coming to the 15th verse, with this verse I will conclude, because these 3 verses are connected. In this verse, Krishna again explains, 15th verse, Nadatte kasyachit papam na chaiva sakritam vibhu agnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. So very nicely, Krishna is using the word jantu. Jantu means animal, right? Yeah, living entity. So, in logic, the human being is called rational animal. So if rationality is missing, he'll remain an animal. That's the point. So, so in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is using this word, jantavaha. So, nadatte kaschachit papam. Papa karya. Somebody is engaged in sinful activities. Krishna is telling, I am not telling him to do sinful activities. Right? Krishna is not inducing him, oh, you act like this sinfully. Or somebody is engaged in sukruta, punya activities, virtuous activities. This virtuous activity also is not Krishna's direction. It is on his own. The living entity is doing it on his own, based on the association with different modes of nature, swabhavena, right? Different modes of nature, his characteristic is developed, is acting in that way, good or bad, whatever he's doing is his responsibility, right? So further, Krishna says that in the material world, either we are in the modes of ignorance, or in the mode of passion, or in the mode of goodness. Everything is actually ajnana. Ajnanena avrutam jnanam. I give you an example. Anything material good, material bad is bad only. It's ajnana, right? So, even a person is in the sattva guna in one sense. He may think I am very advanced. We have discussed in this chapter, on 14th chapter, Krishna says, even mode of goodness is also one type of conditioning, right? Because unless you come to the understanding that I am connected to Krishna, I have an eternal relationship with Krishna, that is real knowledge. Anything else, in terms of philosophy, big speaking, no connection with Krishna, it is all waste of time. So that's what Krishna is telling us here, that Ajnanena avrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. So the people are all bewildered because of so-called knowledge or ignorance, which is covering their real understanding, real knowledge. That's the problem. So very nicely Prabhupada explains, it's like in the present moment, people are engaged in different types of, advancements, economic advancement, scientific advancement, does this and all that is, and we are developing so much. And all for what? For sense gratification. This is also one type of a avidya or ajnana, right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Jada Vidya Sabha Mayar Vaibhava. Jada Vidya means material knowledge, material understanding what you have, or so-called in your university education, is all trying to only make you more and more advanced in material type of advancement. Material comforts is increasing. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, this type of material advancement is only a manifestation of illusory energy, right? The Maya. Maya means you are getting away from Krishna more and more, right? This material energy is manifesting in different ways as, so many other alluring things. Oh, this is good, that is good, we should do this, we should do that. This is called Jada Vidya Mayara Vaibhava, which means the more and more we are becoming advanced in material knowledge, means you are becoming more and more illusioned. Just like earlier there was no mobile, people were very peaceful, right? Mobile has come, we have become, illusioned. So much illusion. When TV was invented, at least they were calling it as idiot box. It was in one corner. Now idiot boxes are in our pocket only, close to our heart, keeping in our pockets. That's the problem. So this is what is going on. Means more material advancement means the opportunity for you to become illusioned is more. This is the negative side of it. Positive side of it is, yes, advancement of material knowledge can be used in Krishna conscious way. Right? Say mobile, if you can use it for, say, hearing Prabhupada's lectures or reading, something about spiritual understanding, it is good. Always it is with you. You need not go to, you're traveling and you can hear so many things. You can read some Bhagavad Gita also online. All these possibilities are there. So here, very nicely, this verse is explaining how Prabhupada in the purport is elaborate purport Prabhupada is writing, how the living entity can only desire, and Lord sanctions based on the living entity's desire. But right now, the desiring ability of the living entity is bewildered. That is the whole understanding of this verse. Desiring is not desiring rightly. Bewildered desires. Ajnana, because of ajnanena avrutam jnanam. The real knowledge is covered by ignorance. Avrutam jnanametena. Right? The lust, greed, and all are covering your consciousness. That is ajnana. And that is bewildered desire. The bewildered desire, you're desiring. So that is all again bewildering you more and more. That's what Krishna is telling us here. So if your desire is purified to serve Krishna, when one desires Krishna, the Lord takes special care and encourages one to desire in such a way that one can attain to Him and be eternally happy. So in this verse, Krishna is telling that we, as right now we are embodied, conditioned in a particular body, by our desiring capacity being polluted, to avoid Krishna consciousness, that is causing us bewilderment. When you are purified in your desire. Purified desire means I will only serve Krishna, I will only act for Krishna. That is purified desire. Then what happens? Then you will be out of this bewilderment. Right? Because our situation is what? Our situation is eternal existence, full of knowledge, full of bliss. But this bewildered way of action is putting us in a situation wherein we are having limitation with our body. This body is 60 years, 70 years over. Right? And full of ignorance, always distressful, opposite situation we are in. It is bewildering you. Right? So Prabhupada says that under the spell of ignorance, the living entity claims that the Lord is responsible for his conditional existence. Actually, Lord is very neutral. The Lord neither hates nor likes anyone, although he appears to be, because he's only giving direction. If you say Google map is very favorable to only this person, see, it's going that direction, for me it's giving different direction. No, same direction, it opens same way, but you follow wrong direction, you go in different direction, it will reroute to you accordingly. That's the point. So you desire to have Krishna, and Krishna will also help you. If you don't desire Krishna, then loss of karma act. What you deserve, you will get it. That's the point. Okay, so this is the understanding of these verses. It's quite philosophical. I want you to read these verses again and again and understand them. Okay, I'll close here. Anybody has anything to ask, discuss?
Prabhuji, I have two questions to you. That one thing that I have gone through in the Times of India, in the speaking tree, that the writer has mentioned that there is no like free willing. Whatever it is there, we are driven by our karma. So like the free willing is not means can be applicable, that option is not means available with us. But what I'm not
according to him.
But what I have understood from the Gita, that in chapter 18, that after giving all this preaching to Arjuna, that Krishna has given the option, Arjuna, that what action you want to, what path you want to take is up to you. So that means that what writer has written, he is right or wrong? I'm just little bit confused. Second question, I'm just coming, Prabhuji, that you have given.
Is the same question continued or different question?
Different question.
Then wait. Let us answer the first question. Otherwise,
okay.
Let us not.
Okay.
Okay, we have limited, grasping power. Okay. So, first question with regard to free will. Whether free will we can exercise right now, or we cannot exercise, rather we don't have that free will, just only free will in the name only. But your understanding as Bhagavad Gita, yes, Krishna says towards the end to Arjuna that whatever you desire, you do. Right? After here telling whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is not forcing Arjuna, you follow this. He says, as you desire, you do. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Ichha. Ichha means free will. So this free will is always very much constitutional to the living entity. It is how the living entity is made up of. Living entity means free will. And Krishna is the only personality who respects your free will the most. Right? He'll highly respect. See, even though he is facilitating, he is the platform on which you are acting. He is what he's giving. In later on chapters, we'll see. He is everything. Without him, we cannot even live. But he is not interfering with your free will. So coming to the aspect of utilization of free will, there's a nice verse in the 15th chapter. Prabhupada explains in the purport there. Krishna says, we are all part and parcel of Krishna. Mame vamsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Eternally, we are all connected to Krishna as fragmental part and parcel. Just like Krishna is supremely independent, he is supremely can will. We being part and parcel, we also have that minute free will. As example of ocean water and drop of water. Ocean water is having all the chemical qualities of even the drop of water also has same chemical qualities, but in a minute quantity. So right now, we have misused our free will. Right? Just like you are working in an organization, a company, you have been given a set of roles, responsibilities. That is your free will. In that given set of rules, regulations, you can take your decision. But if you are going beyond those given guidelines and you do something else which is not in your domain, that is misusing your power, misusing your free will. Right? Then what happens? The organization or the company may take any step on you, right? Curtailing you or terminating you, whatever it is. So in material world, what has happened? Our free will, which is supposed to be utilized for Krishna's service, which is given by him, we are using it, misusing it for our purpose. A very simple example. Often I have heard this from our seniors. Just like one government officer in India, it happens. A government doctor in a remote village. He's using this ambulance of the hospital for, say, his wife wants to go to purchase vegetables. So he's sending ambulance. Okay, purchase vegetables. And his child has to be picked up from school. Ambulance is going. So ambulance is used for your personal use. That is misuse, no? Right? So same way, our free will is meant for a purpose. The example of you working in an organization or a company, you are given some type of powers to utilize it for a purpose. You misuse it. That's what. When you misuse it, then your free will is restricted. So Bhagavatam gives the example of a bull tied with a rope to a wooden say stand. Say the length of the rope from the wooden stand to that bull which is tied now, that is the freedom it has. More bigger the length, it can move more larger space, right? If it is restricted, a small rope is tied, just it can sit one place, it cannot even move. So all of us have free will, but based on our proper use and misuse, we are given different bodies. When you get an animal body or species of life lower than humans, your free will is highly restricted. It's like plant body. Free will is so restricted, it can't even move. It's standing in one place. Right? Likewise. And also what happens in the material world, we don't understand the real free will, what we have as spirit soul. Very nice story is told in this regard. In Kerala, no, they tie these elephants to the leg, with the leg, when they are very small. So, they are trained in a particular way. So, when a small child, baby elephant is tied with, chains, understandable, because baby elephant doesn't have that much strength, the chain is quite powerful. So, when it grows big, also, that chain is again there, but the elephant is so big, with one kick, that chain will break. But the elephant thinks, I am chained. My free will is restricted. Right? So it is conditioned. It is conditioned. Right? So I gave you different perspectives. Yes, free will with regard to our spiritual activities is in your hand. Right? And nobody can stop you. But from the material point of view, based on your previous actions, so many restrictions you will have, or your free will is, say, limited.
So free will is influenced by karma, Prabhuji?
Of course. Yes. Free will is influenced by karma. Material free will. Spiritual free will is always free. Whatever situation you are in, you can surrender to Krishna. Right? Whether you are rich man, poor man, educated, uneducated, diseased, not diseased, any situation you can surrender to Krishna. Free will, again, free will means in one sense it is a destiny. Destiny means the stored up happiness, distress, what you can experience materially. Right? It's like, the spending capacity you have. In your pocket, you have 1 lakh rupee. That is your spending capacity. Right? 1 lakh you can spend. Up to 1 lakh you can easily spend. After 1 lakh, no, 1 lakh, 1 rupee is not there. So free will is like that. In material world, the free will with every person is distinct based on his karma. But free will is there. More you are impious or adharma or papa karma, your free will is restricted. Just like, okay, very poor people, free will is highly restricted. They don't have money to eat also. Right? Ordinary person, yes, he has a free will at least to purchase food, he can move around. So karma determines your material free will. But spiritual free will is something always available. A poor man also can chant Hare Krishna very nicely. A rich man also can chant Hare Krishna nicely. Right? So the consciousness to have maintained spiritual consciousness, to have a proper, that spiritual free will is always open. That's the point. So free will depends on, in material free will is depends on karma. Spiritual free will is always depend on you, how much you want to surrender to Krishna and act for Krishna. That's the point.
Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Second question.
Second question, that you are giving the example that Google and that Krishna roadmap. See, Google, Prabhuji, that even is saying that take a right, if you take left, Google will give the option that to correct you. But here, if I go for the wrong direction, that time Krishna doesn't give the opportunity to come back.
No, Krishna will remind, will tell you, conscience is there, he'll tell you, don't do it. You're so stubborn. No, I want to go this way only. Krishna will say, okay, do it at your risk. That thought comes. Paramatma telling you, don't do this. Paramatma is telling you. But you want to do, you overpower that, that's what happens. See, when you want to do something wrong, Paramatma is sitting and talking to you, telling you, don't do this. But you want to do, you're insisting, stubborn. What can be done? Krishna is, okay, at your risk you do. Right? So Krishna is respecting your free will. You do, you get implicated. I gave you direction. You use your free will. That's what this 15th verse is telling now. Your desires are bewildered now. You have purified desires by association. Then things will be proper. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Any other question or clarification or comment?
Yes.
All of you, please read this. Help us. If you close now, thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.